smokes, it was 6:45. Only one thing in the world could have dragged me away from the soft glow of electric sex gleaming in the window.
This is a Corkboard podcast.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and welcome to Classics Catch Up, the show where a former fundamentalist and film school failure finally finds the time to watch himself some unforgettable films. I'm your host, as always, Jay Muskrat, joined today by another host, a host of friends.
Yeah!
How
exciting.
As usual, we have my lovely wife, Elizabeth, with us. Hi.
Hi.
And of course, well, not actually as always, because he's been on the road a lot, so he's been kind of in and out. But we've got Caleb with us
How's
tonight.
it going? I'm back from outer space. I walked in to see you here with that sad look upon your face.
I was pretty happy when I
and
saw
so
you,
on
though, actually.
and so forth. I'm glad to be back for this, and I'm excited for the movie we're going to watch tonight.
You want to introduce our very special first-time guest?
No, I want to.
Sorry, you're right.
I am the most qualified to introduce my dad, David Rice.
Well, hello, Dad. Welcome. That also makes
Thanks,
him my
Dave.
father-in-law, which is something that I realized that right before we went to record. I was like,
I think
holy
Whoa.
shit.
He was
I hadn't put that
actually like,
together.
yeah, you actually had like a napkin out and you were doing the math.
Yeah. It was a really weird
Running the
family
numbers.
tree because I was trying to figure out how mine intersected, and it turns out we're not related, which actually turns out that's good. So,
That is good. That's good.
okay,
but-
so tell us about your dad.
But well, my dad's awesome. Pretty cool dude. Big nerd like the rest of us. You've heard him on the show as well, not on this show yet, but on other Corkboard Network podcasts such as Droughtland, where he plays a couple different characters and he's dope and stuff. And today he is joining us on Classics Catch Up because he and I share a mutual love of this movie.
Absolutely fantastic.
There
movie.
was one Christmas where we were visiting my grandparents and it played for an entire 24 hours on one of the Christmas channels.
Yep.
Good
How many hours
time.
of that did you guys watch it?
A lot.
Wow,
Like, I'm not going to
okay,
lie. It
all
was,
right.
there were two TVs, which was very trendy at the time. And so the football games were going on the big TV and then the little TV in the like tile dining room area
Yeah.
that just had a Christmas story on that entire day.
Okay, I'm gonna say something now before you guys talk about how much you love it anymore. I have not seen this movie. I kind of expect it to be overrated.
Ooh.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be one of those nostalgia fests that's like if you didn't grow up on it, is it worth watching still? Which is sort of the point of this show. Is like I don't know. I didn't grow up with it, so does it still hold the same kind of magic, or is it more?
I have a point on that.
Yeah,
I think
okay,
I could
take it
help
away.
with.
So usually what we do here is like a little quick, like, what do we know about this?
Oh, and
with,
what movie is this?
with context. But yeah, I was gonna say real quick, you want to introduce the video or the movie that we're doing this week, Dave, and talk about why you like it real fast.
Absolutely. It is a film from the 80s, I think 82, 83. It is a Turner Classic Movies classic that you'll see everywhere. It is called A Christmas Story,
Yay!
starring Peter
Yay.
Billingsley and
A leg lamp.
a leg lamp, Darren
Right.
McGadam, Melinda Dillon. It's a
And
very exciting movie. It's fun. But the beauty of it, to get back to what you were saying, it is of the 80s. It was made in the 80s, but it is actually a period piece. So there's
I learned
there's
that
no
literally
comedy
today.
in reference to it from the 80s, that kind of cheesy 80s stuff that you deal with those kind of
Well, it
films.
all ages really, really well.
It is, oh yeah, wonderfully. It is a period piece that's set in the late 1930s, early, probably like 1940, 41. It's of the era of World War II, but it's not set in World War II.
At one point, he listens to the radio broadcasts of Little Orphan Annie.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So it's really a story about just growing up. It's like a buddy film for 9-year-olds in school.
So
in the radio
that's like
era.
that was kind of your childhood, right?
No.
Throw stuff at
No?
him. It's okay. You can throw stuff at him.
You weren't
No, I was a
you weren't in the
9-year-old in
Blitz?
school in the 70s, thank you very
You might want to
much.
get that napkin out and do the math
But,
again.
I
That actually
know
does
now
change a
where I
lot of
have to
this
go to
genealogy
find
tree.
my will and amend it.
All right, I'll ask your dad about what it was like. I'll ask Meg's parents about what it was like because they were kids then, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so I guess I'll real quick, since I have not seen this, I'll talk about what I know about it. Like I said a moment ago, I know about the leg lamp. My understanding is that it's basically just following this kid, Ralphie, who wants a not Daisy Red Ryder. Yes.
Yes, that's
Yeah, Daisy
correct.
Red Ryder BB gun. And he's trying to get it for Christmas, and shenanigans ensue, including him trying to convince Santa to get it, and Santa kicks him down a slide. He gets his tongue stuck to a pole. Italian package comes in that says fragile, and
Now you're blowing all the
leg lamp.
gags is what you're doing.
Basically, yeah. That's the thing is I have seen like all those gags because they pack that shit into commercials, and those commercials have been on stuff my whole life. So like I have seen a bunch of those clips of like, here's the 30th anniversary collector's edition or whatever. And like, here's all the classic gags from this movie. And I mean, we've also talked on the show a little bit before about how modern trailers are too long and too revealing. Hot take.
That's true.
I
but
don't. I as a general rule, don't watch trailers.
I don't anymore. And I watched them for a really long time, and I stopped probably 2-3 years ago watching them at all. I do kind of want to watch a couple that came out yesterday, but yeah, I don't know. So
It's the season for Christmas
it,
trailers for big blockbuster movies.
it is. That's true. But I feel like the same can kind of apply to really old projects that have everyone has quote unquote seen. And so then they're like, well, whatever, we'll just blow our wad in the trailer because it's just going to make everyone want to watch the movie again. But as growing up in that culture, then you just become inundated with like, oh, well, here's all the spoiler gags of this film. So then it becomes the question of like, well, are the spaces between those gags worth catching up on, So
I think in this movie in particular it is, but we'll get to it.
Okay, well, you don't get to rate it. Neither does Dave. Caleb, you've seen how much of it?
I've seen the ending of this about 100 times.
Okay.
Why?
How much?
I
How much of
don't
the ending
know
are we
that. I
talking?
don't think I've ever seen the beginning. I don't think I've ever seen the beginning, and I know I've seen a couple of the scenes. I know I've seen the pole scene, and I know I've seen the eye scene, and the Chinese restaurant. But beyond that, I'm curious to see how much of this. Because when the only time I ever saw it was because it was playing all day on like Christmas channels or whatever, would be on Christmas Day at like my grandparents' house, and it'd be playing in the background. But I don't know, I'm a rambunctious child. I'm running around and
You got cousins and Christmas vibes.
I'm high on sugar, so I've seen the ending. But I don't know
how
that
much,
I've ever
like
actually
by
seen
ending, what do you mean? Like the last 5 minutes or the last like half?
I mean, like, and I don't want to. I mean, obviously, it's spoilers for the.
Hang on, I'll go real quick.
40-year-old movie, but the scene where he loses his eye, like where he goes out, where he gets it, and
that's not the end.
That's not the end.
It's close.
Where he because he shoots himself in the eye, and then they go to the Chinese restaurant. Because I forget what happens in between.
It's not the fight scene,
right?
So
yeah, so like that's I've seen that part a lot, but beyond that, I'm curious to see what I haven't actually seen, and because like I'm sure I've seen a bunch of this stuff, but I'm curious to piece it together chronologically.
So far, neither of you have mentioned my favorite scene.
Oh well,
cool.
well
Okay.
I'm lucky. I'm
excited.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Anybody else? I guess Caleb, you and I have to give it a guess rating. So I think that it's probably going to be like a solid 7.5 for me. I have a cold, dead heart, and things that are overly sentimental don't tend to work for me. It's kind of got to be sad and really tragic, but I mean, I'm open to it. I'm excited to try it. I do love It's a Wonderful Life. That always gets me. So
It's a Wonderful Life has some very sad and tragic parts.
I know. I love it. It's
Is
so
there any
good.
sad and tragic parts to this that I don't remember?
I think halfway through he gets cholera, and like the second half of it, he's like in a bubble and can't talk to his friends.
Right.
Yeah, because he gets the yellow fever and dies.
That was John Travolta, right?
Yeah,
Am
yeah,
I
that
mixing
I
that up?
remember that one from the same time period.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he goes on the trip to stop his sweetheart from getting married in Niagara Falls.
Side note, John Travolta fell madly in love with the lady that played his mom in, The Boy in the Plastic Bubble, and she died, like, in his arms in her house, like, a decade after that film was made of some disease. I might need to, like, citation here
Yeah,
needed here,
citation needed.
but that's my understanding is that happened, and there was, like, a huge age difference between them and stuff, but he was, like, super in love with her and then spent a lot of time with her towards the end of her life, and yeah.
That's I'm glad you brought that up in our
So how much?
No, hold up. Because
Huh.
Christmas is about family.
It's
And
true.
what's more about family than taking care of somebody?
Especially your mom
Except yeah,
from a movie.
from a movie.
Okay,
Well, and
great.
you know what? Hey, who knows? I don't know. It's John. I can't speak for any of his motivations on anything.
I can speak to his motivations on getting happy endings. How much do you think you're gonna rate this film?
So this Christmas movie, right? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say that I'm gonna ride the hype train that Liz and Dave have set up for me, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it at an 8.5.
Yes.
I got to
Alright.
tell you, really though, one of the things to get back to your earliest question, which was how much of it is just pablum, right? And is it a really good movie? And I'm going to say part of the reason I find this movie so appealing to me is because it is set in an earlier time frame in northern Indiana, which is very close to where
Oh,
I
yeah.
grew up.
That is fair.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Although in the film, it is actually set in Cleveland, of all
Or
places.
filmed
Really?
or set?
That's where it was. That's
That
where it
was
was
where it's
filmed.
filmed.
It's
Gotcha, filmed.
supposedly in Indiana, in northern Indiana, near the lake.
They shot it in Cleveland. It's kinda wild that I guess it was just before people were shooting everything in Vermont for, like, the tax breaks and stuff. Because I feel like Northern Indiana in the winter would be, like, a cinch to shoot in Vermont, like, that's interesting that they shot it in Cleveland. Okay, well, I guess we didn't say what we were rating on. I'm gonna rate on, tongues stuck on poles, so 7.5 tongues stuck on poles.
And I will I'm gonna do 8.5 succulent Chinese meals.
Okay, alright.
All right.
That's, like,
My
almost a whole evening's worth of food.
Worth it to go back?
I'm gonna go with an 8.9 because it is very nostalgic. So
8.9, okay.
8.9 what, though?
8.9 pink furry bunny suits.
What is the hesitation with going to full 9?
Because I think there is a hint of nostalgia that for current people, well, like younger people, is gonna miss either way.
Okay. Fair enough.
Be it 90s, or be it 80s nostalgia, be it 40s nostalgia. There is a now group of the young people in society that when I was younger, I really liked this movie still. I don't think young people would like this movie as much.
Fair
So
enough.
I think that's a very valid point. I think it's a very valid point. I'm gonna probably give it a relatively high rating, maybe 9, since you were afraid to go that direction.
all right.
But I can't give them the full 10. And the problem is that I think I give it the 9 based on my knowledge of the author of the original book, Gene Shepard, and
Well,
the
yeah, you
work that
mentioned
he
that.
did
Oh, there's
beforehand.
a book?
Yeah,
Woo!
we're gonna find out about this.
Wow,
I'm
okay.
excited.
Yeah, we should talk about that in the
It
next part.
is based on a book written by Gene Shepard called "In God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash," and it's just a couple of scenes from that book
Huh,
that inspired this film.
really?
Gene Shepard was a radio DJ, essayist, and writer in the 60s and 70s and on into the 80s some. But his books were all just lighthearted, nostalgic pieces for the most part, and very funny. He's a funny guy.
Oh, yeah.
So I loved that time period. I like listening to him on the radio, and I read his book after watching this movie a couple of times. I read his book, and it's absolutely freaking hilarious. So I'm giving it 9 Gene Shepards.
And for those of you who have listened to other episodes of the show, now you know where Becca got it.
Yep.
Right? Was that the most Becca-ass thing that we've ever heard?
That was a Becca book moment.
That was a Beck dump without Beck
That was
here.
a Beck dump. That was a free Beck dump. So we have, Dave, on several other episodes, had Becca come in and sit down simply to just dump information about the book that whatever movie we were watching is based on. And I pushed it hard enough the first time that now we refer to it as the Beck dump.
Well, happy to serve.
Yeah,
As it
there were
were.
a lot of other name suggestions, but I just said mine loud enough and often enough that it
Well, I
stuck.
liked it. Night Champion did immediately.
All right, we'll be right back after we have heard and watched and seen and consumed and smelled A Christmas Story.
Woo!
We plunged into the cornucopia, quivering with desire and the ecstasy of unbridled avarice.
When a doomed Central City's airship crashes into a wasteland lake, the lives of 5 individuals become irreversibly tied together in a twisted mystery involving witches, robots, murder, and a burgeoning cult.
As I'm cranking Egan up, Block just has a hose. Stop trying to take your helmet off. I'm not done hosing you down. Stop. Hold yourself steady. Stop it. He's cranking. Right. Okay. Spin around. What? Give me your back. Right. Good. Okay. Hold on.
I do want to suggest that the hose that you used to spray her off is one of those like foot pump activated kind, like the hand wash stations at a music festival.
Rough. Yeah.
So the whole time you're like cranking it with one hand and then like stomping your foot on it with the other.
I need to be a one-man band. Egan, this isn't in a city ship. Why is it out here?
I don't know. Once they crash, we should go help with their things. And maybe see if anyone's alive, but we should go help them. They might have stuff that could be more flammable, and therefore it'd be dangerous for it to stay on there.
Definitely, I wouldn't want their ship to detonate more from things inside of their ship that we could have on our non-burning ship.
Elder One, what is that?
Alabar does the thing where he puts his hand up to block the sun and goes, well, that looks to be a human ship.
At that moment, the side of
Sapling
that ship explodes and a giant fireball shoots out the side of it.
It's an exploding human ship. Look, it's about to hit those guys over there. This is going to be hilarious. Sit back and watch.
Savara says, Elder One, that is not how we treat humans if we ever seek to share a peace with them. And she puts her hands up to her beak.
Young one, I teach you things and you teach me things, and I appreciate that. Please, by all means.
She is already yelling at the top of her lungs. She's actually doing like a, I want to say it's like a desert call that the tribal Calvec do. I'm not sure exactly what it would sound like because my closest thought is like, yeah, it was turtle sex noises. Yeah, that was, yep. Yeah. I was
Wait, hold up. Does it sound like this?
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Oh
Yes.
God.
So Block and Egan, you hear that horrible sound.
Someone's killing a goose.
He like half leaps at you, grabbing onto your wrist. His eyes flash open. They look mad and like he's in some sort of a haze. And he leaps at you, pushing you over and mounting on top of you. His other hand with the Vox
We just
still in
met.
it. With the Vox still in it, he rears that hand back and begins to bring it down to smash in your skull.
Join us weekly for your next escapism fixation. A tightly edited, fast-paced adventure bursting with comedy, drama, and action. Listen now to Book 1, A New Cataclysm, wherever you catch your pods, or hear it and our other shows at patreon.com/corkboard. Book 2 coming December 15th, 2025.
A crummy commercial? Son of a bitch.
And we're back. We have consumed one of the most classic cultural Christmas phenomenons known to man of our, brief history slash
Our
classic.
brief interlude.
Correct. Okay, so I'm going to jump right on it. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I laughed the whole way through.
I loved it. Yeah, it was very fun. It was very clever. Honestly, a lot of the jokes landed that I kind of expected the jokes to be dry and dull. Like, like now, just because we're so inundated with comedy and rip-offs of everything.
But I mean, I laughed the whole way.
They were
through.
pretty fresh still.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
it was
you
good
guys
stuff.
giggle multiple times.
Yeah, absolutely.
Belly
I tend to
laughs.
think that the reason it hits so well is because while the film stars children, most of the comedic timing comes from the narrator,
Yeah, yeah.
the author of the piece.
Okay, so before we get too into it, though, we have one very important tradition that we keep, which is the 60-second summary. And for the first time tonight, I'm going to go ahead and take this since my lovely wife, who usually handles the 60-second summary, has seen this movie. Or Liz, do you want to time me since I'm usually timing you?
Yeah, I do.
Are you gonna call out like times, like,
Yeah,
or are
I
you gonna
am.
forget like Abby did twice?
Also, guys, calling my shot now. This is only going to take me 30 seconds.
Are you ready?
Ready?
3, 2, 1, go.
A Christmas Story is an Americana vignette of Christmas following a young boy named Ralphie who's desperate to get a Red Ryder BB gun for Christmas. Through his adventures in life, as seen from his point of view as a child, but narrated through his point of view as an adult, thus opening us up into a whirlwind of adventures seen through a quite hilarious, almost at times hyper-realistic or
30
fantasized
seconds.
version of the reality that Ralphie is actually living on. He goes through a bunch of different stuff, including fighting the school bully, Santa Claus, being an older brother, watching his parents fight, and his father loving a lamp. And, I could keep going, but really, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah, I guess yeah.
All right, a 51-second summary.
51-second summary.
51
All right.
I mean, that's better than last time. It was like a 3.5 minute.
Literally. And then I think it came back later and somebody else was like, well, what if I did more?
Yeah, no, you guys like waited until halfway through the episode to finish summing up the movie.
All right. So I think for this one, our best bread and butter move is going to be basically to turn it over to Dave. Because, Dave, you've got all the good juicy
the
spoilers and
lore.
info. So tell us everything that you know about this movie. Go.
Okay, well, as I said before the movie ran, it is written by, or the book it's based on is written by Gene Shepard. He and the director Roy Clark, I believe was his name, became friends, and he had an intention to make this into a movie and contacted Shepard about it, and he was all in favor. But it took a long time for the networks to greenlight it, and the one that finally did just didn't give much of a patoots about it. They wanted to just give the minimum necessary and just forget about it, which is basically what they did. Which is why Clark was able to make the film that he wanted it to be. And the narrator is Gene Shepard.
And he appears in the movie
And
at
he
one point,
appears,
doesn't
yes, he does. He appears in the movie. Did anyone recognize him when we got to that point where I said in the movie that's where he is?
Before you said that, I clocked that he had very good facial hair. I went, that man doesn't look overly 40s. That is an 80s looking beard to me.
Yes, I've never thought of it that way, but what you said makes sense because notice none of the other people had beards because it was not a properly
Would have
40s
been
kind
very
of thing.
clean shaven. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Except for Santa, but he was all just mustache.
Yeah.
The beard was fake.
Mm.
In any case, it was originally designed to be filmed in Indiana, where the story takes place, up around
Okay.
Lake Michigan,
Around
and
Gary or so, or a little further over towards the dunes area.
more towards the Dunes, Michigan area, as
Okay,
opposed to the
okay.
Chicagoland area. The reason I say that is because I used to live in Indiana, but I also used to live in southwestern Michigan.
Okay.
And the store that they have in the film because they filmed it in Cleveland, Ohio, was called Higbee's.
Higbee's, yes, you pointed out the
The
Higbee's. Yeah.
Higbee's is important because it is one of the major retail department stores in Cleveland. And since they were filming there, they wanted to use that store because it looks so 40s.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Is it still around today?
I do not know. But I do know the one that they wanted to film at, if they were able to do it in northern Indiana, was called Goldblatt's, which is the powerhouse regional department store up there.
We've driven by one of those last time we were up there, I think.
And their major store, their flagship store, was in, I think, maybe Niles, Michigan or something. But anyway, it was filmed in Cleveland, but a lot of references still to Indiana. What was I? There was one other piece that I was going to talk to you about.
Oh, while you think of it, though, I did just look it up, and the Higbee's operated until 92.
Oh,
Okay.
so
All right.
there you go.
And apparently, the one in Cleveland, according to some of the sources I saw, said it might have operated until 2002. So if you're listening from the Cleveland area, shout us out and let us know when the Higbee's actually closed, because Google is non-conclusive.
And if anybody is from the Southwest Michigan area, let us know what Goldblatt's is doing, whether it's still a running operation. It used to
That's
be when I
actually,
lived there.
Yeah, and also, like, let us know how you feel about that war with Ohio.
Yeah.
It was Toledo worth
I'm
it.
serious when I think I saw a Goldblatt's last time we were up there. So I think they're still around, but maybe I'm mixing it up with something
Could
else.
be.
So
Oh,
you
the other
said
thing
that
that I was
this
going to
is
talk about, I remember now, if
Yeah.
you just give me 1 second.
Go ahead.
How they did the metal pole.
Oh,
And
yeah,
the
I'm very interested in
Yes,
this.
yeah, you did
So
say you
wait,
wanted to
what
talk about
real
that.
quick, what metal pole are we talking about?
Okay. In the film, there is a dare situation where one of the young kids, I think they're like
Whoa,
9 years old.
whoa. I'm so sorry. I believe it's a triple dog dare
But it is a
situation.
dare situation, but there is apparently a hierarchy of dares to get to the point
Yes.
where you're actually there.
No, yeah, it's excuse me, and it's an unspoken rule.
It is an
It's
unspoken
true.
rule, and Schwartz did screw it up because he went straight to the triple dog dare instead of
Mhm.
stopping at the triple
I don't know that
dare.
that's screwing it up. I think that that's grabbing life by the balls, but please continue.
Well, okay, whatever.
Yes, but he has no decorum.
So
It's true.
the idea was the deal was he had to stick his tongue to a metal light pole here in the weeks before winter. It's very cold, it's snowy, it's icy, and Schwartz was told by his dad that if you stick your tongue to a piece of metal in that kind of cold, it will stick, and you can't pull it off. You have to have the firemen come out and
Absolutely.
take you apart.
Yeah.
Take you apart. Well, take you off the post.
Take
Anyway,
off the hole.
and of course, in the film that happens, and it's very well filmed because it
It
looks
really
like
is, truly is.
that
Yeah.
tongue is indeed stuck
Yeah.
to that pole.
I'm very curious to know what they did.
It is a wooden pole. It's a
Okay.
wooden post, hollow,
Oh,
and
okay.
they had an air pressure pump running up the inside.
Oh,
with a pressure valve on
Oh,
top.
that's
They
so
make a vacuum and
smart.
start
And
tongue to it?
they cut a small
Oh
hole
my gosh, that's
Whoa.
so
in the wood
smart.
and ran the pressure up so that it had negative air quality.
Yeah.
And
And
as
that's
soon as
why
that
it was
hit,
actually stuck.
that's why he
Oh,
was stuck. He couldn't.
holy shit, that's so
Yeah,
smart.
I thought it
But
was
like
pretty
That's
cool.
not in a
simple
way
as
that would
hell.
cause any kind of actual damage. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
That's really smart. I would have like thought they like cut a hole and then just like had it clamped or something. That would have been like less painful than it actually being stuck,
I
but
wasn't
still
sure if they
like
were just gonna
sucked.
do
But
it.
yeah, I honestly I would have just been like they did it. I assume, but yeah,
I never knew. I saw
that's so cool.
a backstory kind of thing on YouTube about it.
That's so
So yeah, that's pretty cool. There's also the dog ear. There is next door to the Parkers in this movie. Ralphie and his parents and his little brother. They're the Parkers, and they live
Hang on,
next door.
Dave. Before you go into this, it is important. This is your first ever time, but can we get a? It's the animal cruelty hour.
Oh, it is.
Yes. Can we get you giving us one? It's the animal cruelty hour.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for danger and shock. This is Animal Cruelty Hour.
Okay,
So
dog ears.
anyway, they live next door to the Bumpuses, whom they refer to in the film as hillbillies next door.
The hillbilly family.
And Ralphie says that they have 765 hound dogs that live with them next door.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, and they are quite vocal, and they run around and they get in the Parker's yard, they get in the Parker's house all the
They're
time.
quite insistent little guys.
I don't
Apparently,
understand what it would be like to have dogs like that in the house, Jack and Toby.
apparently, the only person that they ever pay attention to is Mr. Parker,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and nobody else.
They
at
don't
all.
bother anyone
Don't
else in the
bother
film.
anybody
No,
else.
yeah, yeah.
Well, at some point in the film, the Bumpus's dogs have come in and they've run through the house, and he finally got them all shoved out, shut the door as he was about to open his major award. And he steps away from the door, and we hear the sound of a hound dog whining and a little flopped ear caught in the door.
Mm-hmm,
And it keeps getting pulled slowly out and down farther
mm-hmm.
because the poor dog can't escape with his
Mhm.
ear stuck.
Classic, like car or shirt in the car door kind of
thing.
gag. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And are you about to tell me this is a real dog or?
No. It was
No, just the ear was real. The
Just-
dog was dead.
yeah. They killed the dog to do the ear stunt.
Yeah. The dog was healthy, but then they needed the ear, so they figured.
They made him a bionic ear, and he went on to be an
nice.
extra in the second iteration of the Bionic Man.
Wow.
Wait,
Yeah.
really? That's crazy. The
Arf,
bionic
arf.
dog.
Arf, arf.
Mine's gonna be really funny because I'm gonna put a robot filter on it.
Okay. Anyway, so he does open the door and let the dog's ear out, and everything is fine. But that was your stunning animal cruelty hour for tonight.
Wait, but wait.
fake
How did it? It
ear.
was a fake ear. We have to find out if. Yeah. Thank you.
John Demmer and I, this is the props man who is talking.
Okay.
Thought for sure you were going to say John Denver.
John Demmer and I spoke with the prop man this summer. Well, no, sorry, that's a different clip.
I know what
It
you
was a
propped
fake
last
dog
summer.
ear that was tucked into the door and slid up and down from the other side.
Okay, so that's like exactly what I figured because they
Yeah.
also don't show the dogs in that shot at all. It's only like the idea of them pushing the door open. We don't see them, so it'd be very easy to just have the guy on the other side be like shoving it and then put the door in. Yeah, yeah, it's a good gag though. It's a good gag. All right, Dave. Well, thank you for your first ever.
Beck dump.
Thanks. Yeah, I guess. Are we just calling these Beck dumps
No,
always?
no. I was leaving space for the animal cruelty hour jingle that we already
Oh,
have.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for your first animal cruelty hour.
Oh, and speaking of animal cruelty,
Yes. Please continue.
we have to get to the end one. It's not really cruel because it's already dead and cooked.
It's smiling at him.
The duck.
The duck. Yeah, I mean it's not cool to do something to something after you've killed it. That's yeah.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
It's mutilation.
But I also saw a follow-up documentary of the making of Christmas Story,
Okay.
and they shot it some scenes in winter, but when they went back to do catch-up scenes, it had all thawed off by that
Okay.
point.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But anyway, so that documentary also did a location by location search for things that were still in Toledo, or I'm sorry, in Cleveland. And that Chinese chop suey house
Mm-hmm.
building is still there.
Oh, really?
So was it actually a restaurant or did they just dress like a vacant building?
It was a pizza joint that they turned into the chop suey space.
Oh,
Okay. All right. Okay.
Now apparently is just a coffee shop.
Yeah, it tracks.
Yeah. But the bowling sign, they did have a couple of bowling lanes apparently upstairs, is what I understand.
Oh, that's
What?
terrible.
That's That's horrifying.
At that time, though, it would have been not like the bowling we have now, right? It would have been more like 10 pins, the little like
feel like you're
small
No, it probably
Small.
would have been regular 10-pin bowling, but would have been they would not have been automated. So you'd have pin boys down at the end resetting all the pins. Once they
Oh
got knocked
yeah.
down.
I guess that's less machinery. It's still a lot of clunking and
But still have the
rolling
sound
and
of the
shit. Yeah. That's insane. So I want to call out, I think that the only, not the only dated thing, but the most dated thing by far, and I would argue probably the only maybe truly problematic thing was sort of the racial depictions in it, which were brief and mild. But I also want to one up that to say my mom worked at a Chinese restaurant run by first generation immigrants
Yeah,
who
yeah.
moved here as adults.
Yeah.
And we had a farm where we raised chickens, and they would come and help us butcher the chickens because they'd used the feet and the heads for dishes that were specialties.
Hell yeah.
So the depiction of the guy being like, "I'm going to cut off this head and then hold on to it because it's useful," is a bit of a racial
He doesn't
stereotype.
just hold on to it, Josiah. He puts it
He
in his
puts it in his
pocket.
pocket briefly. We don't need to talk about
No,
that.
hold
Okay.
on. He puts it in his pocket and then looks at the camera and goes,
And then it's like,
"They saw that,"
I saw
and
that.
takes it
He
out of his
absolutely
pocket.
does. He absolutely does. One of multiple extras that look at to the camera, including a couple of the kids.
Yeah.
Which also brings up one note I want to say. I loved the fourth wall break. I mean, the whole thing has an aspect of fourth wall break because you have the narrator interacting in a way with the kid, although the kid doesn't talk to him, right? But like there's a direct sort of quote unquote interaction between them. However, the one in fourth wall break of Ralphie just turning and looking to the camera and smiling and winking is like, that's just God tier level fourth wall break. Like, well done, excellent. We talked about that a little bit with Mel Brooks in Spaceballs. Like, a well done fourth wall break is just so satisfying. And unfortunately, it's very overused now. I like Deadpool. I'm a fan of Deadpool. Unfortunately, he has also kind of killed the bit. It
Well,
is what
so
it
did
is.
Mel Brooks.
Mm.
A lot of his later films, like Robin Hood Men in Tights,
Yeah,
has a lot of that in it, and I
does
think,
have an awful lot of it.
yeah, it's
Oh,
Mel
yeah.
Brooks kind of had a falling apart with Gene Wilder, who they worked together most famously on
Blazing Saddles
and
and
Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
But they had a basic disagreement over what made comedy. And Gene Wilder just stopped working with him because Mel was always about doing that "aren't we funny" kind of stuff
Mhm.
directly to the
yeah.
camera,
Yeah.
instead of just letting the situation speak for itself. So, but in this, I love it because I was not 9 years old in the '40s. Um, However, I was 9 years old at one time, and everybody as a child undoubtedly had those moments where they think, "They're gonna be so sad when I go blind,"
Oh, yeah.
you know?
That was a really fun scene, yeah.
So, all that is to me is a lot of that is just kind of playing off the fact that there is a narrator,
Mhm.
and it's just that feeling of satisfaction. "Yeah, I'll get him. I'll get him.
That'll show him.
I'll show him what it'll be
I'll
like."
suffer, and that'll show him.
Yeah.
It really had, very Pat McManus energy, and I don't know if anyone else here has read his books, but Pat McManus is an, Americana sort of comedian, probably problematic if I looked him up now, I don't know. I grew up on his stuff, and they were read, um I found out as an adult, not by him, but my misunderstanding as a child was that they were read by him, and it was very much like this movie if there was just no movie, but it was just the narrator. It was very much that, which I mean, this is based on a book, so I assume that that's just how the original book reads, but it's very much like how I got this way, this is what it was like to grow up in, Asphalt, Arkansas or whatever, where all the neighbors, used a wrench for their brake and, their gear shift had testicles on it. It's just like, and I relate to
Doesn't
that
everybody?
because, well, I mean, mine currently does, yeah, but
That's beside the point.
well, yeah, I mean, I keep meaning to give this back to Caleb. Sorry.
You live close to Arkansas, after all.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I'm the closest.
But it's just there is a charming, beautiful sort of look at let's be honest, white American culture that I think is currently not the most popular genre for a good reason, but also is something that a lot of us relate to and like is harmless in and of itself, even if it's not inherently if it is not ultimately harmless, it is harmless in its innocence, in that so much of it is done with pure intent. And I feel like this film is a perfect example of that, where it's like we could sit and pick this apart and be like, well, look at the way that blah, blah, blah. But really, it's like who cares? This is there to be a beautiful picture of like this is what it's like to be a young white American boy at this point in this sort of small town America, and it is a beautiful depiction of that. And I think that's worthwhile, even if it's not currently a popular look. Should it be the only point of view that exists out there, or the only one that makes, box office numbers or gets produced? Absolutely not. But it should exist, and they do a really good job with it here without belittling others, which a lot of like we talked about, a lot of 80s comedies can be dicey.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right.
We had a lot of negative things to say about American Pie, which admittedly is a 90s comedy, but still like horrific. But for like a comedy, even within its depiction of a very typical heteronormative nuclear family, I think they did a pretty good job of, you know, I don't know, painting full caricatures of these people.
The fact is that it's still being seen through the lens, a memory of this 9-year-old boy,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And so any other person who was talking about recalling that scene may not recall it with the fa ra 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 ra
Mhm.
stuff, but because that was the major supposition in the media at that time, and the fact that it's completely new to him, and the fact that it was just different because it's Christmas and we're in here eating duck, I
You
completely
mean
go
with
with it.
the Asian scene and
Yeah,
and everything at the end? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I completely go with it because I don't think he is, especially in the class that he's in, I
Mhm.
don't think that there is any racial bias behind it. It's just
Yeah.
the memory play. Now, obviously, yeah, like, you're talking to the 80s and 90s comedies that can really play poorly,
Mhm.
but I don't give it that kind of weight in this case because it's
I
coming
don't
from a
really either.
child.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah,
agree
that's
with
fair.
that. I agree with that. And I also just think that in general the scene wasn't overly problematic. I think it was just the most problematic thing in the movie.
Yes.
But I really don't think I don't think that there was an ounce of malice from anyone, both diegetically, if you will, in the characters in the scene, or non-diegetically with the people making the scene. I don't think that there was an ounce of that. I also think it's interesting that now it is a very common sort of gimmick or finale moment for Christmas stories to be like, well, guess we'll all go get Chinese because like we fucked up the turkey and we burnt down the house and the Christmas trees in the oven. So like I'd watch that. But
I've
I
lived that. So,
is
yeah.
is is this the original that? Is this the original Let's Go Get Chinese? Or is there a different or did this influence that? Is this a reflection of the reality of people doing that? Like, I'm curious what the correlation there
That's
is.
a great question, and I'll give you my take on it. I think it is that for Northern Indiana. Many other times you see that we gotta go eat Chinese because this fell apart. That's a typical New York story, right?
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or like
Because
LA.
right.
Yeah,
Or we're gonna go have to have, um, eat at Katz's Deli
yeah.
because everything else is closed on Christmas,
Right, right,
Mhm,
right.
kinda thing.
mhm. Yeah.
What they would have had the most trouble with, I think, is finding any place open in Northern Indiana on Christmas Day, you
Oh,
know?
yeah,
Mhm.
probably.
So,
I guess, and that's also true, like, there's a true depiction of, the lack of celebration of Christmas, or the lack of prioritization of Christmas under certain other cultures, specifically Jewish for obvious reasons,
yeah,
and I suppose Asian also,
yeah.
that is true. Not all Asian families celebrate Christmas, especially those that are not American Asian, so
It's
it
the only
definitely.
nod in the movie to, like, somebody who doesn't celebrate Christmas, yeah.
Yeah,
But did
that
you
is fair.
notice on the wall in the Chinese chop suey joint, because I think that's what they chop suey on the wall. On the wall is a, um, Coca-Cola Santa Claus
Mhm.
plaque hanging up.
Oh yeah, well those
So
are just like
no, I mean it's
cool,
yeah,
you know.
they were everywhere, but it's not like they weren't aware that it was Christmas time. They put up their decoration, you know.
Right, right.
Yes, yeah,
So
absolutely. I think it is interesting because it's an 80s movie depicting a 40s family going out to get Chinese food for Christmas, and now that is a whole thing both intentionally and as a backup ploy in like movies, and it is an interesting
Still, like,
correlation.
I think
continuously.
Yeah,
it probably
continuously.
is, yeah, because this was 80s. It
For the
could
record, also, this came out, give or take a year or so, almost as far from us as the era it is
Oh,
depicting.
that's wild to think.
I really hate when you say statements like
I
that.
know, I know, I know. I hit Liz with stuff like that all the time. I'll come out and be
Did
like,
you know that
"Did you
on
know?"
Tuesday we'll be closer to the moon at the time?
The one that really hits me still is, guys, you realize we're farther away from Leslie Knope's run for office than Leslie Knope's run for office was from Y2K.
You always make it sound so complicated.
No, you just gotta think. You gotta think in these wild terms so that your brain
Think
can
outside
detach
the
I
from
have
the daily
yeah.
monotony of time and acknowledge how small we are and how finite we are in this chaotic sea that is time and space. We're just tiny
This
little
is
things.
The
Christmas.
death of Cleopatra.
Wah.
The death of Cleopatra is closer to us than the building of the first pyramids.
It's truth.
That's fucky.
Yep.
That's real fucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were wicked old even then.
And we don't. Let's not even get into dinosaurs. We don't have Kaylin here. Or Caleb and Kaylin could go off on the whole like T Rexes were farther from Triceratops than we are from T Rexes.
I mean, you beat me to it, but yeah, basically.
So we've talked for about 45 minutes now
Actually,
about.
one more thing I want to say, and then
Yeah,
I'll shut
no.
the hell up.
Please don't.
What you said about the time frame from us to the movie,
Yeah.
it is actually almost exactly that same time frame for the follow-up sequel that they
Oh
put out,
yeah.
called A Christmas Story Christmas,
Uh-huh.
Right.
also starring Peter Billingsley, also starring nearly everybody who was playing a kid. Scott
Okay.
Farkus is back.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's
Scott
wonderful.
Farkus is back,
Okay.
and
Does he get beat
Schwartz
again?
and
Can we talk about that name, Scott Farkus?
Scott Farkus. For the longest time, I thought it was Scott. Honest to God, but it is
Yeah,
SCUTT. Scott Farkus.
I feel like just typo that a couple times and you're done. You've
Such a
fixed
scud.
that issue, my man.
But it was made 40 years after, so it was made and set in the time frame 40 years beyond when it
Right.
was set. So it was in the 80s, early 80s, that this was set, the same time that they
Being
were
made now,
making the
but set in the
movie
80s. That's really
at
fun.
that time.
That's fun. That's fun. We should watch that. I'm interested to watch that.
It's
yeah.
not as good, in my
I
opinion.
mean, I assume,
Well, I
but
mean, I
how
don't know
can
that
it be?
anything is
But
going to follow up this.
it is a wonderful follow-up to see what happened to everybody. And he comes back to see his mom because they're going to sell the house. Dad died during a
Okay,
cabin
yeah.
crash.
Mhm.
And
That makes sense. Dads do that.
yeah. So
Mine won't, but
God damn.
Melinda Dillon was not. I'm going past death statements. That's just what I'm doing. She was not in it because she was close to passing herself. She had cancer, and so she decided not to do the film.
moms do that.
Yeah.
God damn.
Fragile. It must be Italian.
All right, so after 40 minutes, it's time we let the women talk.
I don't really have much to say. I really enjoyed this movie. It held up. I had a great time.
Did you like it as much as when you were a kid?
Yeah, I did, and I've seen it. This isn't the first time I've seen it as an adult too. I hate to say I'm boring on this one, but I'm kind of boring on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of figured you wouldn't have a ton to say because just in general, you're like, yeah, I enjoy this movie. I grew up watching it, but like, that doesn't mean that it's worth dissecting necessarily for
Yeah,
you.
and
Yeah.
a lot of the fun facts Dad knew, and
Yeah.
it
What's
just
your favorite part? Just give me your favorite part.
Yeah, well, you
What's
mentioned
my
your favorite
favorite
scene.
part?
Yeah, sure.
The car scene when he drops the lug nut.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So please explain that scene because I actually genuinely forget. There's a lot of different like little vignette scenes in this, and I kind of forgot that one.
It's way more
Although
episodic than I
Yeah.
thought it
I thought, yeah, I did not realize how episodic it was going to be. Honestly, if this came out today, it would be cut up into reels and be like really popular as like shorts.
Mhm.
Right.
Also, I will say this scene really resounded with me actually. So yeah, please go
Yeah,
ahead,
I thought it might resound with you. Sorry, hold on.
Ralphie.
Yes, I know the name.
Ralphie?
I haven't spoken for 30 minutes, so I was a little zoned out, and now I'm on the spot. So
That's the
I
way we
didn't
like
know
to
that
do
was
it.
a
coming.
half a second to
Well, if you
recalibrate.
want to take a
We call
half a
that-
second,
we
we
call
could
that
just talk about how
polar-
I accidentally dipped my finger in the wax next to me.
That wasn't exactly accidental. I kind of watched you do
She called you out on that. It's like, bitch, you picked it up. You looked
I've
at it.
literally
you put your
just been
finger in it, then
staring
you looked
at
your
you.
finger.
Oh, it's wax on it.
And then you did it again.
Well, yeah, I have to build up enough wax that it'll get off of my finger.
Thank God it was just a finger.
So the fudge scene, everybody the
The well-known gif of "Oh fudge."
Is it a well-known?
I was just gonna say that not letting you talk for 35 minutes and then throwing you into the center spotlight is what I like to call, and I'm probably gonna put some stank on this.
annoying.
All right, well, that I'm gonna put some stank on that too because that's fair. That was a fair dig. I was gonna call it Polar Plunge Podcasting. Get it? Because you're like you're warm, and then you're just jumping into the. Her eyes have murdered me, y'all. Okay, go ahead.
So the entire Parker family is on their way home from meeting Santa, and they blow a tire, as you know, cars are wont to do. And so Mr. Parker gets out. He's gonna go fix the tire, and for the first time ever, Mom says, "Ralphie, why don't you go help your dad?" And boy, was he excited. 9-year-old Ralphie, he's gonna be the big helper guy. He's gonna do it. He's never been more pumped in his life. And he goes out and he's holding the hubcap for some reason or some sort of little round dish.
So those tires definitely you would have had to have removed the hubcap to get at the lug nuts, just for the record.
Yeah, and that's what he was holding. Yeah, he had
Yeah.
Right, but
the
like
dish.
that was a necessary step. It is no longer because it was a dumb step.
But yeah, he's holding his little hubcap. Dad's putting the lug nuts in it, and then whoops, there's an accident, and in the dead of night in the snow, the lug nuts fly up into the air, and then they are lost forever. And Ralphie says, "Oh fudge."
Except
I didn't say fudge.
Fuck.
I just really wanted that scene where she washes his mouth out with soap and he then sends him away. I really wanted that to end with her just like leaning against the wall and going, "This fucking kid."
I like that it ends with her just putting the bar of soap in her own mouth, though, just to be
Yes.
like, "Well, what is this like?"
So I actually did kind of want to get into that one moment because that is an example of like I don't want to say that it's like wokeness in the 80s or whatever because it's all catch-all terms that I hate, but basically I think it is kind of cool that the mom was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do unto you that which I have not done unto myself." You know, and I say that because I don't necessarily defend her choice to wash the kid's mouth out with a physical bar of soap. I know that's a thing. It happened to me like once or twice as a child, but not like a ton. There was other stuff.
Mine was always hand soap, like in the pump.
Yes, same. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's
My
good.
parents were normal and didn't do that.
Yeah, your parents were like not crazy, but like also
Called my sister an asshole one time.
oh, that will do it. Yeah, that'll fucking do it for sure.
Sorry about that.
I think I might have called my mom the B word once.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, I know I've called her the B word more than once, but I think that might have been the cause of it.
No,
He did it just now.
You know, listen, to be fair, she is
sometimes if
sometimes
the rude shoe fits.
sometimes it be true. But
Fudging wear it.
Huh? Bitches be shopping.
I lost my train of thought on this one. Hang on, no, it was about parenting.
And soap.
Overall, the parenting in this film is dated but loving. And
yeah,
I
that's
think
a good
that
way to
that
put
is
it.
really interesting and wholesome, and I liked that because it is a 40-year-old mindset depicting additional 40-year-old, therefore 80-year-old parenting method, and they are both using the reality of the strictness and awkwardness of parenting in the 40s and the all that as a
All
punchline.
that was in the 90s.
Oh, good one. Fucking good one. Uh, but they're using it as a punchline, but they're also still like showing love within that structure, within that system, right? Like you could flash that into any sort of sci-fi world or whatever, what have you, what fantasy world where there's these weird constructs about what can and can't be and what weird taboos that don't make any sense to us because we're not there living that and still show love inside that structure. And I think that this is one of those examples of the same, if you will, otherworldly. It's not that dramatic, but like otherworldly parenting methods, if you will. But we're still seeing within that structure there is love, there is intentionality of like trying to be sure that these kids feel safe. And it's not just like wanton abuse, as is, I feel like, often sort of lumped into all old school parenting,
Right. Yeah.
like especially anything that's like older than like the 90s, and then it becomes like victim parenting where it's like, well, you didn't know any better. But like I think that it is important to understand that like parents of all eras and all ages have loved their kids within the structure that they had and have done their best. A lot of them have fucked it up, but a lot of them have also done their best,
Right, of course, yeah.
And I think it's beautiful that this movie kind of depicts that. I don't know, I didn't expect that.
I think there's the one line where Randy, the little brother, is sitting under the sink
Oh gosh, yeah.
after Ralphie had spent the afternoon beating up Scott Farkas and yelling all the same kind of obscenities that his dad is famous for yelling, right? The mother finds Randy under the sink and she says, "What's the matter?" And Randy says, "Daddy's gonna kill Ralphie."
Yeah.
And she says, "No, he's not." And based on what you're saying, you're absolutely right. But notice that Darren McGavin, playing the dad, never actually scolds anybody.
Yeah.
He talks about it, but she knows for sure that he won't because she's the one who does the punishment.
Yep.
Yeah.
He
And
doesn't have to pull the belt out of the belt loops because the like insinuation is there.
yeah,
Which, and I know that's whatever, you could call that an environment of fear or whatever. I don't think that's necessarily true when you come to kids because structure and discipline is important. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like the implication of like there is a bigger trouble you could get into, kid, is enough most of the time.
Yeah, right.
I also think on that moment, it's actually the other thing that I did not expect from this film was tackling the question of like how much do you let someone shove you until it is warranted to shove them down and punch them until they stop?
Right.
And we can extrapolate that issue right now into yeah.
oh, I was just waiting. I was just
Oh,
saying
okay,
it.
yeah.
I have a mention of that.
We can extrapolate that issue into like straight up geopolitical conflicts that are going on all over the globe right now and or our own, failing governing system right now. Like there's no end that that question can balloon to become an entire morality sense in and of itself. And so that is such a complicated thing that I was just very taken by how this film tackled it in a very I think appropriate way, in that we showed how far these kids were pushed before this sweet kid was chose violence.
I
And
mean, like, how many times did they chased him around? Like, at least 5
so
times.
many
Yeah,
times.
it
And
was the visual interlude many times.
yeah. And then the other thing that I want to call out is the showing him de-escalating and crying after. And not like not the like, oh, he beat up the jock, or he beat up like the bully, the asshole, and so now like the kids all run around like, yay,
And he's the
way to
hero
go, yeah.
now.
Yeah,
And
it
like
feels
the
bad.
girl gives him a kiss and everything. It's like, no, he feels bad. He goes to his room, he cries, and like it kind of gave me. This is odd. I don't think anyone but Liz here has watched Peacemaker, but in Peacemaker, one of the things that I love about that show is that John Cena is this merciless killer who wants to just, he believes in killing to make the world better and he does it. But then when he's forced to make a decision that is tough, he sits in the shower and cries, and we see that, and we see him hurt from the decisions that he's made, that he hates to have made, and he has this beautiful masculinity that is not toxic. And I know this is kind of a weird relation to make, but I feel like this movie gave us a little depiction of Ralphie being a boy child who was forced to use violence by someone who used violence to intimidate and hurt others. He was forced to retaliate. It was clearly not the natural recourse for him. And then we saw the tax that it took on him, and we got to see sort of a healthy example of how to deal with that. And that was for me something I did not expect this movie to tackle.
Strangely, in this movie, you never see Scott Farkas, the bully, ever get Ralphie. He beats up on Schwartz,
Yeah.
and
It's also mostly the shorter kid too.
yeah,
Yeah, it is.
and so Ralphie shows himself to be quite adept at running away.
Mm-hmm.
When his friend's tongue is stuck to the pole,
Yeah.
he has to go because there's the school bell. I gotta go. But
Which I think that moment of like cowardice, if you will, early on speaks even more so to later on where he's defending that same friend and his other friends.
Character arc?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have great affinity for the scene where Scott Farkas gets whomped on by Ralphie, because I had the
Oh
same
yeah.
kind of thing when I was a kid in school, about the same age.
Yeah.
And he just gave me all kinds of raft of crap until I
Can you
just
can
said,
you expound on that a little bit? Because genuinely, like between me and a lot of my friends, none of us have really dealt with like a genuine kind of movie classic bullying situation. I'm very curious.
okay, well, I'll tell you my story. He was a guy in elementary school, same class as me, did the same kind of thing, was just a real smart mouth, snot-nosed kid.
Mhm.
Um, very much preyed on the weaker people, right? Just like you see Scott Farkus kind of doing. Um, and I was very much a Ralphie type. I wanted to just stay out of it. I wanted to just get away. I
Sure.
didn't want to make enemies of anybody.
I'm gonna go home and listen to my music and play D&D with my friends.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Hashtag Stranger Things. Sorry. Sorry.
After a terrible day of him getting after me at recess,
Yeah.
outside, then we came in and he just would not let up. He would not let up. He kept walking past my desk and just standing there with his hand on my desk and just giving me crap.
Mm.
And he just kept after it and kept after it. And I said, well, I'm not going to use his name. Go away. Just leave me alone. And of course he wouldn't. He just bent over forward and was getting any more.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I just got this pencil sharpened over there.
Oh no.
I stabbed him in the hand.
Okay. All right.
Like down, or just like a jab into his palm, or like down into the desk, the back of his hand.
Back of his hand.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yes.
I've never heard this story. I just like perked up. I'm like,
He drew first blood.
I'm gonna make this pencil disappear.
I will say he never bothered me again.
Did it go all the way through, or
Just the lead.
oh,
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, there was a little lead mark there where it had gone under
Hell yeah.
subcutaneous.
fuck you, Scud Farkus.
it was the 70s, so there was lead everywhere. So it's not like that little lead in his hand was bothering.
Yeah. So anyway, but during that same time period, the 70s and 80s, there were buttloads of television shows,
Really?
sitcoms, and family dramas that eventually had an episode where the
Like an
school bully,
anti-bully episode.
yeah,
Hmm.
and every time the same object lesson was played out. Somebody finally had to tell the child that's being bullied, you know, the only way to stop a bully is to stand up to the bully,
Mm-hmm.
to make their day worse than yours is.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that that was included in this film actually is the only thing really that I think was from the 80s, because that was such a
Mm.
standard trope
Oh
in
yeah, that's
television and
fair.
film at that
Oh,
time.
fair. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brought to you by Karate Kid.
Yeah, pretty much. So anyway, I liked it. I've always loved that scene because you can take it too far as a bully, and you just got to stand up to him.
It's a good moral.
It is complicated to deal with bullying. It is not, I think, an unreasonable thing to say that a good portion of the time you do have to just stand up to someone like that. Someone like that with who has been given chances, or potentially, you've already reached out to try and be friends with them, or whatever,
Or attempted
diffusing.
to express empathy.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
what people say now a lot too, is like, well, put yourself in his shoes. Maybe he's going through a hard time. Yeah, and maybe he just sucks.
Yeah, I mean,
I certainly don't suggest anybody go stabbing people with pencils.
Okay, so you brought it back up, so now I have to tell this story. So we had a friend whose daughter stabbed 7 classmates with a pencil.
7?
7.
Like once?
Or
And
was it
she's
5?
not the bully?
It was 5 or 7.
She
landed in the hospital after this incident. But here's the thing: the point is that when asked why she did it, she just said, "I looked down and found the sharpest pencil I could." And that lives in my brain rent free, just sitting there next to like all of the other lines that I'm gonna have a supervillain say someday right before killing someone. Like, holy shit.
Well, thank goodness I didn't have more than one sharp pencil at the time. That's
Yeah,
all I'm saying.
apparently.
Oh, no, she only used
She only
one.
used one. Yeah.
Well, my lead broke off, you know.
This is a serial stabbing.
Dave's like, listen, all right, I thought one was good. Okay, I didn't
There
realize
was only the one asshole in class.
Why do you guys have to show up with this one-upmanship?
I had bullies in high school, but they were psychological and really good at it. We were the 2 biggest guys literally, we were the 2 biggest guys in class. So if it ever became physical, it would have become like everyone else's problem. So, and I think we both knew that. So we kept it very psychological, just like real torment
You
shit.
guys should have kissed.
Yeah.
Fight, fight, fight. Kiss, kiss, kiss.
He is he's a sheriff now. Ooh, Black Lives Matter, y'all. So with all of the things that we've said tonight that have made the cut, and all of the things tonight that we have said that have not made the cut, I just want to say thank you for joining us on this beautiful Christmas season, this beautiful holiday season. For the rest of you who don't celebrate Christmas or
Happy
celebrate
Hanukkah.
other things,
Go eat
Kwanzaa.
a roast goose.
Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year's for those of you who prioritize that.
Whoville Christmas. Marry that.
And like 4 months early, Happy Chinese New Year. That's going to be in like March, I think. I do think this is worth catching up on. No matter who you are, if you love movies, if you enjoy watching movies at all, I think this is worth catching up on because even if it feels dated or out of touch or you don't relate to it, I would challenge you to say that this is a accurate depiction of how thousands, if not millions, of white suburban-ish Americans have sort of experienced Christmas in an ideal state for the better part of a century. And if that doesn't represent you, then no hate. That's fucking great. You do you. But just understand that it does represent some people. And I think that it is worth watching for that reason.
I love that. Yeah. It's very much a 1940s slice of life, which is not relatable, I think, anymore,
There's
but
parts of it.
it does have a nostalgia that it's always popular around this time.
I have also discovered in the many people that I've watched this movie with.
And some full-size ones too.
That it's primarily men who think it's a great movie. And women are like, yeah, that's okay.
Oh,
yeah,
no, that's
mom
totally fair.
doesn't like it. My
Yeah.
mother's here. She
She's
didn't
not watching it,
participate.
yeah.
No, I mean, I get it. There's a lot of like young male boy fantasy in it, and I get that. But I mean, that just means that my previous statement is more true than even if this doesn't relate to you because you're a woman or you're not an overly traditionally masculine man or whatever. Like, that's great. That's fine. Like, fucking you do you. And I love all of the things that we have for you. I'm so thrilled we finally got like a gay Hallmark movie a couple of years ago. Like, but also like you have to understand that as much as we are looking at these cultures that maybe are different from what we're used to, this is an accurate depiction of a culture that I think is wholesome and good and
Or
had
at
its
least what
faults,
we
but
wanted the culture to be.
yes,
Because it's
yeah.
not necessarily the most accurate thing on like the 40s. I mean, they had 1980 Nikki rolling around in the thing, that not like Steamboat. You know what I mean?
Listen.
But like, but again, it's less about the historical accuracy of it and more about the vibe. It's the reason they chose that, like that right in between, or at least I feel like this is the reason they chose right in between the Depression and right in between the
Oh yeah,
World War,
absolutely, yeah, for
so
sure.
they can put it just right
That
there.
kind of idyllic golden age.
Exactly.
Without the like neo-imperialism of the 50s.
Right, without having to get into everything with the 50s, which
or
I think
the slutty short skirts.
and it
of the
probably
60s.
was. I mean, there was a
nuclear,
whole
Cold
rash
War.
of like 50s, like what am I looking for the word? Nostalgia
Mhm.
in the 80s. So this could have, as being in the 40s, could have been a counterpoint to that. I don't know. This isn't a discussion for the end, but I wanted to go ahead and get it out.
No, it's worthwhile.
So for ratings, how I before rated it an 8.5 succulent Chinese meals out of 10. And I think that was a good assessment. It was funny. I belly laughed throughout the entire thing. I had fun. At one point we paused it and I was like, wow, I cannot believe that an hour and 10 has already gone by. I feel like I've maybe been watching this for half an hour. So, I mean,
Like the opposite of 2001: A Space Odyssey, you mean?
right. No, yeah, basically.
Oh
Yes.
my,
So
yes.
for me, this was a classic that was worth catching up on.
Yep. I'm gonna second that. I hardly agree. I gave it a tentative 7.5. I'm gonna jump it up to an 8.5. You know what? You know what, babe? I'm gonna side with your dad. I'm gonna jump it up to a 9.
It was so
Yeah,
good.
not an 8.9 because I respect it. A straight 9.0.
I laughed at this again tonight, which I haven't laughed at watching it in the past. I giggle and I think, oh yeah, I remember this. But watching the two of you laugh at it made me really laugh
Was
at some of
really
that stuff
fun.
My
too.
favorite thing. That's why I love watching movies with people. Yeah.
So I'm definitely sticking with my 9. It's not my favorite Christmas movie, but it's damn close.
Wait, what
That's
is?
not Jingle
What
All the
is?
Way.
Jingle
Wait,
All
let
the
me
Way
guess.
is
Let me
great.
guess. Wait.
You'll get it.
His favorite, it's a tie between two of them. It
Yes.
is either The Lemon Drop Kid or Holiday Inn.
No.
No.
Oh, she's wrong.
Oh no.
No, it's A White Christmas.
No.
She's
Oh, you
I
lot.
prefer White Christmas to Holiday Inn because Holiday Inn is problematic from a
Very
racial
problematic.
standpoint.
my love. I'm watching your Christmas presents be burnt right in front of my eyes. One more guess. Another guess. Another Christmas. Another present burnt.
It's not The Lemon Drop Kid. It's not Holiday Inn, and it's not White Christmas.
Love Actually.
Love Actually. God
Oh,
damn it.
Love Actually. Okay.
Love Actually is a
alright.
Christmas movie?
Love Actually
Love
is
Actually's
the
it's
Christmas movie.
yeah, it's absolutely a Christmas movie.
Oh, well, maybe that's what we'll watch
The
next
first
year.
word you see on the screen are 5 weeks before Christmas.
I haven't seen
At
the
Heathrow
movie.
Airport.
It was one of the last movies that we watched together that I had not seen that was arguably a classic that made me be like, I should do a show about these.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it was one
badgered
of the- yeah.
Josiah into watching it
It might have
for like
been
7 years in a row. I think you just watched it for the first time last year.
Well, next year I guess we're
probably.
watching Love Actually.
I feel it
Let's
in
go home
my
right now. We'll watch Love
fingers.
Actually.
We're starting
I'll
it.
post the whole
I
thing. We'll skip
feel it
every
in
bit about
my
Laura Linney.
toes. Love is all around us.
Christmas.
And that's
Don't
Christmas.
you
Fuck!
know
Fuck!
it's
Fuck
Take
it!
it again!
God
time?
damn it! Fuck! I've been singing Christmas for 30 goddamn years. It's Christmas.
So anyway, I give it a 10.
Oh, right. You're still here.
I had a great time. No, I know. I do still think it's a 9. I think my
You still
previous
think it's a 9?
statement-
You said 8.9.
Okay, well then I bump it up to a 9.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
we got her.
She's just trying to like keep up with me because now I'm her dad's favorite because I said it was a 9. All right, anybody want to go out with our holiday wishes? Resounding silence.
I wish for you to watch this movie and feel some warm fuzzies and then maybe go eat Chinese food for Christmas.
And I wish that you don't shoot your eye out or get your tongue stuck to anything you don't want your tongue stuck to.
And I wish that you hold somebody tight and think about how small you are in the universe because it's important to have perspective and remember that makes your love of them all the more important.
Thank you, Carl Sagan. I wish everybody an absolutely splendid last of 2025, and I hope against hope that sooner than anything could even imagine to happen, that we find ourselves in a happy, healthy, fun, pleasant democracy again.
Amen.
Here.
And may I wish upon a new year for a free election. The opportunity to make a hilarious joke on mic that he made off mic.
I texted this joke to Josiah and I saw him bowl over. Hi, I'm Gene Shepard, and this is my favorite movie on the Citadel.
So, just to throw out the context to that for anyone who doesn't know it, because probably
Mass
David
Effect. Yeah, it's Mass
doesn't know.
Effect.
So, in the Mass Effect game series, you play a character named Commander Shepard, and you can what's the word? Endorse different different stores and shops on the Citadel. Except you can do it to every single one. So then if you do that by the about halfway point of the second game, every time you walk into a store, a holographic version of yourself.
Hi, I'm
greets you.
Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the
On the
Citadel.
Citadel. But it's every single store. And so then the developers did go on to produce a DLC that you could add on where eventually the like guild of shopkeepers comes after you and is like, you endorsed all of us. That's worthless.
The Parker family is on their way home from meeting Santa.
Wait, who's the Parker family?
Fuck you.
I'm leaving this entire pause in.
I'm not. Except
I didn't say fudge.
I said
I
the-
thought we were all going to say it together.
Oh no, I thought we were gonna do parts of it.
I
didn't say fudge.
Also, David didn't say that. David, you are excommunicated.
All right,
You didn't say it.
We're gonna do it together.
All right, Caleb, count us down.
I did. Oh no, I'm sorry.
Oh no!
all right.
I didn't say fudge.
Fuck.
Thank
Dave,
you,
you wanna
Carl
take us
Sagan.
Wait, I've got to stop his researcher insisted. She's jacking off a dolphin.
Okay then.
Liz, you want to go ahead and take us out with your favorite Christmas poem? I know you were Googling it over there.
No.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
I tried to come up with something. I'm tired.